and call this meeting to order. First item is public comment. The board takes public comment on all items in the regular agenda. Public input on a regular agenda item will be taken at its appropriate discussion. Public input on an item on the agenda or consent agenda may be identified and requested for consideration by the board at this time. The board may request an item to be placed on a future agenda or for a consent agenda item to be moved to regular agenda for public comment. Any public comment? None. Move to consent agenda. Consent agenda considering of approving the January 31st, 2018 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Scott, second by Karen to approve the consent agenda of those meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. We'll move on to the regular agenda. Presentation of the monthly financial report and event calendar.
Got to remind the boss what day it is. Okay, for January, it's kind of a dull month. Not a whole lot happening, but our fund balance did increase by about $22,000 in Fund 410. And in Fund 605 for the hot money, it actually went down a little less than $100,000. But according to accounting, that's not a big deal because all the payments don't always come in at the time that they're supposed to. So the thing to remember about Fund 410's balance is what you see there on the Blue Book report. That is not all available money. Approximately $425,201 of it is set aside theoretically for a 90-day emergency fund, which that means that if we don't bring in $1 of revenue, that much money would take care of us for 90 days. We could still pay payroll, still keep the lights on, still conduct business as such, even if we don't collect $1. So you have any questions? With the 90-day emergency fund? No, it does not show on there.
What was that amount again?
$425,201. That's 90 days, yes, ma'am. Now, that doesn't mean that if something emergency came up that it could not be used, but that's what we're supposed to keep in a savings account just for a catastrophic event happening to revenue where we didn't collect anything during those 90 days.
Is that a state requirement, Don?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Law?
The budget department asked that we get to that point.
Any questions on financials? There's no action needed, correct?
No.
Just a review. Okay. Thank you, Don.
Okay.
The event calendar.
Good morning. Not sure on the February if we went over those on the total. We had 12 Coliseum events. Of course, those were the 12 rodeo performances. They had a total of 41,129 tickets sold this year, a little over 3,500 more than they sold last year. We had 28 convention center book dates. 15 of those were city events in the small meeting rooms, 2 Pecan Creek, and 10 at the East Mezzanine. 8 of those were city occupied. And for this upcoming March calendar that just is going out today, there's 35 convention center events. 18 are those slated for city meetings, 5 Paseo, 6 at the Coliseum, 1 at the River Stage, which is this coming Saturday, 11 East Mezzanine. 8 of those are city-occupied meetings, and 7 at Pecan Creek Pavilion.
Lori? So that'll move us on to the third item, discussion of civic events, facility projects, and recommending any related matters.
So just want to go over, of course, we started our phase 1, and we've completed 11 of the 12 facility projects in that phase. The only project that hasn't been completed would be the repaving of the Paseo and Farmers Market grounds. We've decided to go ahead and just look at possibly parking lot patching for the Farmers Market and Paseo and we'll get into why once we get to the next slide as well. Another thing is we were able to, in 2014, whenever they did start the roof for the Coliseum, that project was, they had already did the main dome, they did the VIP area as well, but we did not do the lower ring roof part of it, but we still had those funds that were allocated for that. At the time, it was $59,000 to get the lower ring done. Now that bid came in at $72,000, but we do have enough funding that was left over from our original project with the roofing that will take care of that. So we will be moving forward with that project. So we did actually take that off of our facility projects phase 2. And then also we'll be using some of our own capital improvement funds for the convention center interior restoration. So those 2 items were actually taken off of our total list for our facility needs. Just a little timeline of the events that we did have in place. If you all remember, we did do a tour of the Coliseum in December of 2017. We had a board discussion about it in January. Of course, this is our February meeting to discuss it and get a vote on it. And then I'm planning to also take this to City Council on March 6, 2018. The issues that what we're looking at, these are the top three things that I would like to make sure that the board and council does know that we're trying to protect or improve on. So the safety issues that we're needing. There's also cost savings, as if you can see with what we're trying to do with the LED lighting for the Coliseum. There's some great savings in that. And then the loss of business and revenue. So if we don't update some of our facilities and upgrade them, then we could possibly lose certain business, which totals in losing revenue too as well for us. The items that we did discuss already were, and I'll just go through those, the safety needs for the Coliseum, which is at $25,000. The chiller replacement for the Coliseum, at $171,000. That does include the warranty as well. Give me 1 second. That's for an additional year as well.
2 years last time.
It's a 1 year bid. That's what's on the form and stuff. And then also the new staging for the Coliseum at $86,000. The electrical repair for the river stage at $22,000, LED lighting for the Coliseum at $30,000, and then 3 new spotlights for the Coliseum at $30,000. The estimated total cost for all of these projects together would be $364,000, with a project contingency of $10,000 as well. The total amount that we're requesting is $374,000. We do have from our facility projects phase 1, in the savings is $80,000. So the amount needed total from Fund 605 would be Fund 410 would be $294,000. Of course, with what Mr. Maynard was speaking about our 90-day rainy fund, we can't take that from our fund balance. So we would need to get that from hot tax 605.
Any questions?
And then with the, of course, like I said, with the repaving, we did take off the 50,000, that project, and we're just gonna repatch the much-needed areas for that, and then come back at a later time and see what we can do.
All of these at one time.
As, yeah, I mean, we just, yes, ma'am, all together.
I think it's a good approach.
There's the fund balance, that way you all can see. In Fund 605, there's $1.3 million. Current for Fund 410 balance, a little less than 700,000.
Don, do we know what the 90-day is for 605? So we need to take that into account as well.
Is there even a 90-day?
I would assume because
It's
there's other
allocated.
entities that, I mean, the allocations are monthly or quarterly? Monthly?
Yeah.
So I would assume they need a 90-day reserve in there as well. I think it's a good approach. I think we've had plenty of time to vet this out. There were emails sent to discuss priority. I mean, I think you've got everything you need. Personally, you guys have any comments or discussion on any of this?
Oh, I'm a go. I think it's a good one.
Talked it over.
Yeah.
Talked it over.
So I guess we can go ahead and give you the recommendation
To present.
to move forward. Yes, sir. Good with that?
Take a vote.
You want a motion and a vote? I'll make a motion that we move forward and present it to council as is.
Motion by Don, second by Karen, to move forward with the priorities that you've listed. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 4-0. The next item would be consideration of future agenda items. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add?
When we went on that tour last summer, we went down to the river stage, and you were showing us where you wanted to pour some extra concrete.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that still and repair the restrooms there? Is that in this?
Yes. Well, no, it's not in this one right here. Right now, we're trying to take care of mostly of the safety issues and the other items. With the river stage, with what we have planned for the future, right now, we don't have that many events to be looking at taking on that cost at this time right now for us. The biggest thing for us that we needed at the river stage right now was the electrical needs. So we couldn't just bring all those items together for the river stage. And then with whatever the other projects that we also have, with the chiller replacement being so much, I mean, that takes away from us being able to do other needs too as well at our facilities.
Anyone have anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Uh,